All right, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Murphy Street Podcast. I'm the host of the show, Murphy. Rules on Murphy Street are simple, always the same: shoes and slippers at the door. Come inside and let's talk story. All right, today I'm going to give you a quick 15-minute show, and it is a sad one for myself personally, and should be for all Star Wars fans, because this is the show where I announced the CNN article that confirmed my biggest fears, that the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel in Orlando, Florida will be closing. And I say it's a sad day for us for many reasons. But what I want to do today is talk about the reasons why it failed, and at least in my opinion, and what little information Disney gave us. And I also want to share with you things that I thought probably should have been done better to help it succeed. So let's start, shall we? So first of all, once again, the article was done by CNN.com. A pretty good article, considering, again, it was very, very limited information with what we were given. Disney obviously will not harp on their failures. So Natasha Chen, who wrote the article, did a great job. But why it failed, Disney said it was a business decision. Again, I will say that this hotel was opened during the Bob Chapek era. Had it been opened in the Bob Iger era, well, one, it might only be opening now. And two, it definitely, I don't believe, would have failed. Number two. Oh, actually, not number two. One of the reasons I believe it failed is because it was too expensive. You're looking at a $4,800 to $6,000 price tag on a 2-night voyage. Obviously, they're trying to completely immerse you in the theme of the Star Wars universe. So you're taking a two-night voyage, and the cost is affixed to the number of people who are in your room. I believe the max occupancy would be either somewhere between 4 and 6, and that would be $6,000 for the 2 nights. It is, just so you know, an all-included experience. So all of your dining and meals would have been included. I'm not sure about the drinks. Most of the experiences, and obviously if you wanted to purchase a lightsaber, I want to say that you may have gotten one, but you also could have purchased that experience as well, very much like you could have when you go to Batuu on Galaxy's Edge. I think another reason that they failed, or my opinion, was that they were too dependent upon people wanting to do a fully immersive Star Wars stay. Some people just want the trappings. They just want to see all the Star Wars everywhere, and not necessarily be rolled into a scene where you're walking through a cantina and all of a sudden, a fight breaks out, or who knows. But some people just want the trappings and don't necessarily want the fully immersive experience. They want the trappings. They don't want to be trapped in it. See, those are two different things. And I know that obviously when you purchase this, you were under the impression that you're getting the entire thing, but they say that you can have it as you want it. I just don't see how you can turn that off. So that might have been a big problem. And again, a big spend, and would have been a big gamble for somebody to take should they have decided to do the Galactic Star Cruiser stay. And also, if you did do the Galactic Star Cruiser stay, please let me know, and I'd love to do a show with you on the podcast. The question is, was there really enough? Another reason why I thought this was a failure. With Disney, things are expensive, but you get what you pay for. Did this experience deliver that value? Was there enough denizens, enough adventures, enough ability for the experience to flex and breathe with the will and desires of the guest? Again, you were supposed to be able to cater this experience to the thresholds of which you wanted. If you wanted to be a swashbuckling space pirate, then this was supposed to be the thing for you. If you wanted to be a Sith acolyte, this was supposed to be the thing for you. Now, what if you just wanted to be a smuggler one day and just wanted to be Joe Schmo the next day from Kansas, and you didn't want to have to worry about ducking and dodging bounty collectors or what have you the next day? Because again, this is supposed to be the full experience. How did you designate that you were off? You weren't playing that today. We're not doing that. Safe, base, I'm it, that kind of thing. That to me is another big reason why it probably wasn't as big a success. I love the ambition though, and please do not get it twisted. When it comes to Disney, when it comes to Star Wars, it was built off of ambition. It was built off of lofty goals and expectations. And as good as they tried to do it, there was still a lot of holes left in it. My last point as to why I believe it failed, Disney also stated nothing to share at this time in regards to the structure. And I'm sorry, this comes from the article. The hotel was already built. Obviously, there's people staying in it currently. And just so you know, they did say that the experience will continue to go on up until the 30th of September. And new bookings for any remaining reservations between now and the final run starting on September 28th are on pause. So, you guys, hopefully you can get it in. I'm sure they still want to continue to make money up until the last day. I mean, you could recoup some funds. And as a matter of fact, who knows? This may be one of those things where because they announced the closing, people now want to rush. I know if I had the time to get away, I would try and see if I could maybe take out a loan for that much and go ahead and spend that to go experience it before it disappears, because who knows when we'll have this again. And again, that's probably the main reason why I say it was a sad day for Star Wars fans. But nonetheless, it is going to be wrapping up, or its final voyage, on September 30th. So they will reopen Friday, May 26th, Disney said. So as of right now, I think they are closed, and they'll be reopening in just a few days. Hopefully they are revamping for a good kind of send-off voyage. Now, here's the things. I wanted to make sure that I talked about the reasons or ways that they could have succeeded, because I don't want to just be negative. I know it took a lot of balls for somebody to pitch this. I know it took a lot of cojones for somebody to decide to build this. Do I feel like it was built to the best of Disney's ability? No, I do not. I feel like the frame of time just wasn't enough to create what they wanted. I, again, admire the ambition. I really do. Bob Chapek, a money guy. I think he saw the dollar signs, and that might have been the problem. Again, one of the reasons why I think it failed is because when it comes to a Disney experience, it has to be done with the heart intention first and the money intention to follow. Obviously, things are built to create that money-making machine that is Disney, but you cannot have it be the main reason that thing exists. So that, to me, is one of the main reasons, as a matter of fact, that I feel like if Bob Iger was in front of this or in charge of this, he would have curtailed, and even stalled off the fact that this wasn't ready yet. May have, and I say may have because we'll talk about one thing that did happen under Bob Iger where I feel like they probably rushed it, and definitely I had an inside track on that, because I worked with the special events team, and a lot of what they told me and a lot of what I knew at the time just was fantastic and lofty and great looking, and even what Bob Iger talked about at D23, but just did not fulfill. It is not like Disney to overpromise and underdeliver, and that's what happened with these last two Star Wars experiences. Luckily for us, Galaxy's Edge is still a work in progress, so we still have that to hope for. All right, but how could it have succeeded? Here is my suggestions as to how it could have succeeded. I don't know how the numbers would work on this, but at least I think this would have given us a better opportunity to have this experiment last a little bit longer. First of all, I feel like it should have been an 80-20 or maybe even 85-15 split between the actual immersive experience and actual hotel guest stay. Again, my train of thought as to the main reasons why it didn't last, obviously because it was too expensive, and two, because it was just a little overly geeky for some people. There are people who walk around every day wearing a Star Wars shirt who I will engage, have no idea who Lando Calrissian is. How is that possible? People who go around every day wearing a Mandalorian shirt just because they like Baby Yoda. Their geekdom will drive them to participate in the consumer sales of it, but some of them don't know, and that's why you don't want to alienate the people. You want to invite them in. You alienate them when you tell them, okay, we're going to throw you in here, and you got to know what's going on. Good luck. Right? And that's not what we wanted, but that is what this experience did for them. So 80-20 means it would have given them the opportunity to come enjoy this Star Wars hotel that we built. There's 100 rooms, 80 of them are for our regular guests, 20 of them are for this. And not only when you do that, not only do they have the opportunity to now enjoy a Star Wars themed hotel, but now there's that exclusivity of the other 20%. And you're just like, wow, I wonder what they're experiencing. That has a value as well that I think was not appreciated in the creation of this hotel. Again, another point, allow people to purchase the experiences a la carte, upgrade your stay. Some may just want the cantina. Some might just want the lightsaber experience. Some, all of it, but just for a day. So as I just mentioned, if we went with that 80-20 thing, this kind of envelops the 80-20 as well as the exclusivity part of it. The 80-20 meaning 80% of your hotel denizens are there, but only those people should be able to purchase and upgrade. And of course, the 20% should have some exclusive things as well. But for the 80% of the people, they need to, for whatever dollar they're spending, and we could make their stay cost the same as the Aulani, which I think is very exorbitant for what it costs. But nonetheless, you make them pay whatever it is for them to stay there and experience the Star Wars themed hotel. And if they want to purchase something that happens, maybe an adventure that happens in the Galactic Star Cruiser area, allow them to purchase that upgrade. Somehow, cruise ships have boats that leave all the time to go to shore and come back. You can't have a space shuttle kind of dock on the ship and allow these people to experience it for an hour, for a dinner, for something of that nature. You would have then been able to have their money already guaranteed from the hotel stay, not to mention the plus ups that they would have gotten while they were there to check out the Galactic Star Cruiser. I feel like that was a big miss, if you ask me, and I don't know how that wasn't thought of. I think they went with an all-in, like, guys, if we're going to do it, we're going to go all in. And unfortunately, they just did not think clearly enough on how that all-in should have looked. Make the experience more exclusive somehow. I already talked about a couple ways to do that, but definitely if the people who are in that hotel are the only people that can purchase those plus ups. The people who are in the Galactic Star Cruiser are the only people that can get this, and that, or maybe they can only have access to certain type of lightsabers if you stay on the Galactic Star Cruiser, certain type of meet and greets only for the people on the Galactic Star Cruiser, but then any plus ups only for people in the hotel and the Galactic Star Cruiser. So obviously you get more exclusives as the people who stay in the Galactic Star Cruiser. You have less exclusives, but still exclusives as people who stay in the hotel itself. And anybody outside wanting to just walk in and purchase that, you cannot. Anybody wanting to just walk in and experience the hotel, you cannot, because that is what these people are paying for, because we need this to exist. We need this to go further than just today, and they should have thought about that. I feel like it was a big miss for them. Wait until they had everything they needed perfected, or wait until they had everything they needed, perfect Galaxy's Edge first, and I'll go into that in just a moment. Get the denizens, all the experiences down pat, then try this. Then try this crazy 100 rooms, fully immersive experience, okay? D23, I believe it was either 2015, 2016, when I was working, Bob Iger comes out and he talks about Galaxy's Edge and gives this promise of all these things that still have not come to fruition. He talked about a free roaming, denizen-heavy trading outpost. That's what Batu was supposed to be. It never came to that. It has always just kind of been, it's more like a land where people here, you don't see any Tusken Raiders walking around. You don't see any Trandoshans. You don't see anything other than, oh, look, there's a droid pushing a soda cart. That's awesome. That would be great if it was there to complement if it was there to complement the rest of the denizens, the rest of the Atmo, as they like to call it, or atmosphere characters that would be there and that make you feel like you're mixed up in another galaxy. That is where we have fallen short, Bob. And that is where I feel like the Galactic Star Cruiser needed to wait till we had perfected. All right, there is so much more, but if we just started with that, I just don't feel like there's enough density for the Star Wars experience yet for us to have felt like, yes, we can do this out of the box experience. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up here because we only have 2 minutes left. I'm doing a strict 15. But ultimately, this one hurts for us Star Wars fans, and I'll tell you why. This is exactly the type of ambitious project that we've come to expect out of both Disney and George Lucas. But there was one thing missing. One authentic, genuine element that eventually made this project flounder. And that was, I believe, this endeavor was done with the main intention of making money. I went into that a little bit earlier. In the realm of Disney, in the Star Wars galaxy, it was all spawned from an innocent place of passion, a vision that scratched and clawed its way to the paper, then to the big screen and beyond. And the only way that happens is if your heart guides it through the thralls and perils of existence. If it's money, then you think that money is the answer. But when it's passion, it's the smiles on people's faces. It's the awes in their hearts. And when it's passion, the creators think of it well before fans complain that it's devoid of it. This hurts for us as fans because this was everything we'd hoped for someone to try, but they tried with the wrong person. A Bob Chapek-led adventure that ended up being another feather in the cap of a man whose main objective was to make money. Need proof? Heard of Genie Plus, the Genie Plus system? That's during his period of tyranny. But this hurts because since it's failed so miserably, who knows how long it'll be before we get another whack at something this great? Who knows what it'll take to greenlight another project as ambitious as this immediately off the heels of another failure? Had it been done right, I could see an experience that would continue to build and grow. That would allow fans the chance to possibly interact with their heroes in an environment so real, they might really believe they're in a galaxy far, far away. But for now, we'll have to sit among the smoldering ashes of failure. Is there an up from here? Or was this our only hope? So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, on the Murphy Street Podcast, make sure that you guys always follow us. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Murphy Street 808. That is MurphyStreet 808. On YouTube at Murphy Street Productions. And until I see you guys next time, don't forget your slippers. Aloha.